following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.
After tonight, we will be 10 weeks into the Sim500 NC811.org Xfinity Series. And that means we will have 10 races to go before the playoffs begin. And we start eliminating drivers as we race towards the championship in Sim500. Tonight, the Monster Mile Dover Motor Speedway is the host of race number 10 here of the season tonight as we welcome you in for 140 laps of racing around this 1 mile, 24-degree banked monster up in Delaware. I am the captain. We welcome you in on this Sunday evening. After a crazy cup race earlier, we get to come back to this and see what kind of craziness these guys can pull in tonight's Xfinity Series presented by NC811. As qualifying is actually about to start right now. I was trying to do something cool before the broadcast, and it failed on me miserably, and then I looked up, and I was like, I gotta go on the air. I was trying to put an Irish song in. It didn't work. Happy St. Paddy's Day, by the way, to everyone. As let's take a look at the point standings real quick. As qualifying just beginning, cars just getting out there for their warm-up lap before they run their 2 laps. Mac McMillan leads Braxton DeWeese right now by 6. Stephen Miles third, Anthony Calantoni, and Mike Kelly, your top 5 right now in the point standings. Scott Simley, Kevin Brown, Wesley Donaldson, Chad Coleman, and E.J. O'Rourke, your top 10 as we enter the standings here. Now, with that said, remember that in this series, there is no rule about the amount of races you start. It is just straight up 16 drivers. So you look down here at the bubble, it is Brent Scott by 3 right now over Kevin Stone, Joe Hudson, Jason Karlavage, Doug Sigmund, and Tommy Ryan. They're right outside the top 20 as we sit in the points standings. As cars are out on the track, let's get to the first laps here of qualifying. The first one that's going to log a lap is going to be this one car of John Schweikert, as he brings her down off of turn number 4, and his first lap goes across the board. And that being a 23:59 right now, and that is going to be one and done, it looks like, for that one car. Campbell up to second, Kevin Stone, Matthew Martell there up to third, as Tommy Ryan's going to cross the line, that 99 car. Let's see where Tommy goes. He is P11, 24-0. Wesley Donaldson with a 23:66. He jumps up there into P2. Let's see what Tommy's second lap can do here. He drives her down into turn 3 and 4 in this 1 mile track. Again, a self-cleaner. Now, for those who might be confused because they've listened to other broadcasts this week and heard me say we're at Bristol tonight, that's my mistake. We're at Bristol on steroids, being Dover. As Tommy Ryan had to pole for a second, and Braxton knocks him off with a 57. Good lap for the 5. Still got plenty of cars to go here, though. Stephen Miles out on track. Still looking for that first win in this series, the podcast co-host of mine. Let's see what this 24 can do as he climbs up out of the banking. 9 degrees on the back and front straightaways, down into 3 and 4 he goes. And let's see what he can do with her on this very slick track here. As Miles crosses the line, he goes up to P14. As here's Tyler Dalton on the track. See if he can knock off the 5. Tyler, of course, the all-time pole sitter in Sim500's history. He's running a diamond. Running it a little different. And for Tyler, first lap, 27.97 or 23.97. That was his first lap, a little throwaway, if you will, there at the moment. Let's see what he can do through 3 and 4, though. He is right on the bottom of that South Carolina 811 car. As he brings her through 3 and 4, it's in the green right now. I don't see purple. Tyler Dalton goes to 9th, 23.65. That was a big obstacle right there for Braxton to miss, to potentially get in this pole, as a lot of cars have logged their laps. Joe Hudson now on track in the Texas Pete Hot Sauce car. Through the 3 and 4 section here. Climbs up out of the banking here, and yeah. Oh, that's not going to count, unfortunately. So that's probably the one obstacle right now, unless somebody else comes on track, that Braxton has. There is no one on track right now. Is Joe going to try another lap? He's got about a minute. He could pull it off. Well, and he actually, I think, crossed the line, so he might actually be done here. So it looks like Braxton Deweese is going to be the pole sitter. So let's step away and go trackside for the national anthem here from the Dover Motor Speedway.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, track warm-up going on here still as we get ready for 140 laps of racing around this monster mile of a track. Last season, it was the Pedro Mojica show, leading 45 laps from the pole and going to victory lane. And then the season before that was Daniel Falkingham, who, of course, went on to win the 2022 champion. And for those who watch the Coke Series, yes, that same Daniel Falkingham that races over there on Tuesday nights. But the last winner that actually raced here in this series that is here tonight, ironically, is the driver that went to victory lane last week at Iowa, and that being Justin Fuller. So let's bring him up real quickly as the grid gets ready to set. Justin, obviously winning last week, and believe it or not, you're the last winner of this series, not named Daniel or Pedro, at this track. So what do we got to do tonight to go back-to-back in the 55 car?
We got a lot of cars going to drive through. We wrecked in qualifying, so got a lot of ground to make up, but see what we can do.
How much track position going to play a role in this car?
It's a lot, especially if we get a lot of yellows, because it's going to be tough to pass until the tires start to wear out.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, best of luck tonight. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. Justin Fuller, obviously, as you can hear, he's focused and ready to go here this evening. As let's take a look at the starting lineup here for this 140-lap race. Braxton DeWeese gets the pole, 23:57, outruns Tommy Ryan by 1,000th of a second. John Schweikert, Robert Fryweed III, Mike Montesi, Jason Karlovaj, J.P. Phillips, Bob Gillenwater, Tyler Dalton, Nelson Rivera, Mike Kelly, and Wesley Donaldson. Your top 12. As you look at the rest of the field there, Arnold, Justin Reynolds, Kevin DeBrown, Mac McMillan, your points leader there, 16th. Chad Coleman, the Ironman there, 24th. Outside row 12 for him. Scott Simley up here in 25th. Josh Parker, who's going to work his way through the field as always, starting 30th. You see Fuller there in the 29th position as we roll through the rest of your starting grid. And tonight, 140 laps of racing around this 1 mile track. It is 140 miles of racing this evening. 24 degrees in the corners, 9 degrees on the straightaways. And as always, some of the best racing you will see on iRacing is right here in Sim 500 tonight as the green flag comes out. Braxton DeWeese leading them to the green flag at Dover. Our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. Schweikert able to carry the inside lane. He's going to move to second. How about Robert Fryweed the third? That is him in the blinking 77. Oh, in trouble. Montesi gets turned, and Bob Gillenwater. This is going to be a big wreck. Oh, this is a big wreck. Oh, no. This might be half the field at least. That's Justin Reynolds who's had to tow. Tommy Ryan towing the pit road. Mike Kelly with damage. Tyler Dalton's got damage. Oh my gosh. That might be the... Wow. I mean, there are cars in the top 10 coming to pit road here, I think, with damage. I mean, this took out a lot. McMillan involved points leader. I see Miles with damage. Eric Arnold with no nose. I mean, this started, I looked up and saw the 6 car sideways. Ooh. Rivera with damage. Holy cow. Kevin DeBrown. Oh, wow. Doy Woods. Fuller came to a complete stop in chat. I'm trying to see, did Mike come up here? He's about clear of Tommy there, and yeah, he just comes up in the Tommy, unfortunately. And that just collects a ton of, I mean, Wesley Donaldson, I can pause it right here. Let's start counting. Chad Coleman goes through the grass. There's Jeff Ryan going through the grass here. I mean, Brent Scott over here with damage, it looks like. There's Kelly over here. I think Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, might have gotten some damage in this thing too. I mean, this is shades of 2004. It's kind of funny, not to spoil the cup race, but today was the first race that 5 cars or less finished on the lead lap at a cup race since 2004. That was a race here at Dover. And that race had a big wreck like this towards the end. Josh Parker with damage, it looks like. He gets involved in the 81. I mean, let's go to the back and ride with... Let me hit the stop button here real quick before we get to the corner. Where is he? 7th place, Justin Fuller. Mind you, Justin Fuller just started 29th. I mean, he backs off. He sees it starting. I mean, look at this. There goes Scott Simley. Add him to the list. 51 with damage. Glenn Campbell gets damage. I mean, good googly moogly. Where is... Let's try with Kevin Brown here real quickly. Are we back to green? Never mind, we're back to green. I'm over here covering the big wreck, and we're back racing here. So, let's go back to that. As Deweese leads this race. I got plenty of time to show that one later. So, as I'm seeing this, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars. 6 cars off the track. Mike Kelly's just rejoined the race. How many cars without damage? How many cars... I mean, there's Miles back there with some nose damage. It's 17. And Jason Karlovage in the 2nd position now in the 60 car. Got one car up against the outside wall. Sean Burke in the 01. Not sure what's going on here. He's trying to maybe get to the bottom and get out of the way of everybody. Off the pace he is. And here comes potentially a battle for the lead. As Braxton's going to let Karlovage go to the front. So move the 60 to the front for the first time. I mean, tonight's a perfect night now for some of these drivers to take advantage, points-wise, of that big wreck and get what they can get when you see wounded cars like the 88 of Mac McMillan, the 24 of Miles. Those 2 cars right off the bat. This is a night that Braxton Deweese needs to pounce on and likely take the point lead away and maybe drive away with a pretty good gap. '77 falling back a little bit. There's Justin Fuller, who wrecked in qualifying, and that might have ended up being a blessing in disguise as that 55 moves up into the 5th position behind J.P. Phillips. And here comes the Atlanta Braves mobile, Sam Harrell, putting a chop onto the field. Kevin Brown's counting 21 cars in that wreck for me. Thank you, Kevin, for counting for me. That's right up there with that 2004 NASCAR wreck I was talking about. And for those who don't remember that wreck, that was the one with, I think it starts up with Michael Waltrip and Jeremy Mayfield around 3rd position. And they just pile in. That was the one where, I think Mark Martin ends up winning the race, if I remember correctly. And Casey Kane's leading with like 20 to go when somebody blows a motor. And they don't throw the caution. He drives into 3 and wrecks because of the oil. So it's just a matter of get your damage fixed, get out there and get the points you can get if you're someone off the track right now. These are the kind of days you got to salvage if you want to make the playoffs or have a better seeding. I mean, obviously, yes, the win's out the window, but never give up. gives us an opportunity to. Well, we're going to talk to some people, I think, here potentially in this race because, well, things happen in that one. I think Kevin checked out, so I was going to talk to him. All right, Bob's reacted, so let's get Bob up here. My gosh, Bob, what in the world? You get your breath back?
Hey, I just no comment.
Fair enough, man. Obviously, disappointing to spend an hour of practice for something like that to happen.
Yeah, we had a good car. I messed up in qualifying a little bit. Think I could have qualified better, and actually thought, well, I'm gonna maybe be up here around this top 10 and kind of avoid some of that. But 2 laps in, but stuff happens. I mean, nobody does things on purpose.
No.
Just hard racing in the beginning, but disappointment is not even the word for it. Yeah.
It's okay to be mad. It's okay to be mad. Well, I understand, man. Well, tough break there for you, buddy. And good to talk to you as always. I know it's not under the right circumstances, but let's go next week.
Yeah. Well, if we can get some repairs and a motor put in this thing, we may try to get this hunk of junk out there to pick up a spot or two if we can get it fixed before the end of the race.
Well, the good news is that's usually a 30-minute fix, so you should be okay.
Yeah. Well, I've got about a total of 45 total I had. So.
Oof. All right, man. Well, sorry about that, buddy. Hopefully you can get it fixed.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for checking in, man. Appreciate you and all the viewers. Bud.
Appreciate it, buddy. Bob Gillenwater, obviously disappointed, but okay. And he's going to sit around and watch the broadcast here as we watch Charles Van Schaik make a pass as Scott Simley back here for the 13th position as Karl Lavage continues to lead a train of 6 to 8 cars here up front as DeWeese runs there in second, Schweikert, Fuller, Phillips. Your top 5, Robert Fryery 6. It's funny, we talked to Fuller right before the race and said, hey, man, you got a chance at this one. He said it was going to be tough to get through the field. Well, he found a way to get through the field. Put it like that. And is up to the 4th position as Anthony Calantoni checking in from Bristol with his buddy Justin from TalkingGiants.com after that wild race a little bit ago. Doug Sigmund making passes here, so cars that have returned to the race after that wreck. Rivera's back on track, Mike Kelly, Tyler Dalton's back on track, and that's it so far. There's Josh Parker, who was involved in that wreck, 16th position for him. He's got a bunch of wounded ducks back here with him, with Kevin Stone, 51, that was through the grass a little bit ago. Brian Wertman, who I think missed it. There's Campbell. I don't see too much damage on these cars here, so hopefully it's not terrible. Let's see if Tommy wants to talk. He might be a little disappointed here in this one, so let's see. Tommy, you okay to talk? Oh my gosh, man, that was rough. Sorry to see that, man. Oh, let me turn your audio on, I guess. There we go. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dover hasn't been good to me, man, in the last couple of weeks. It was my own fault in the trucks a couple of weeks ago or last week or whatever it was. Missed a shift on the initial start and got ran over, and all that was my fault. Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. I mean, it would have been different if and everybody's human, and I get all that. But when you got a car on your outside, all the way down one straightaway through a corner and then on the exit, and then you just kind of come up. It's kind of like, man, you got to, lap 3, you got to really understand what's going on around you. So, I mean, it took out, I don't know, over half the field or something there. But, I mean, like I say, it is what it is. I mean, I'll sleep tonight. It's not a big deal. But pretty disappointing.
You going to get the car back out?
No, I could literally, like I told the rest of the guys, I could literally pull the hauler out, go back to Charlotte, get another car, and get it back by the time they fix this thing. So,
Oof. Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry to see that, buddy. Well, caution's out again, so I don't know if you're the bad luck here for me. I'm just kidding. No, I'm sorry to see that happen, buddy. And we'll talk tomorrow night. How's that?
Yeah, life goes on, man.
Yes,
It's all
sir.
good.
Appreciate it, man. Hey, I appreciate the positivity, buddy. As Tommy Ryan, of course, I joke with him there, but obviously, yes, the caution is out. You were unacceptable, right?
Yeah, but I will say I'm going to need to definitely stop at Northern Tool and Equipment on my way.
Yes.
Because this thing is it's done. I'm going to need a winch and some sawzalls and a lot of Milwaukee. So hopefully see you there.
Now, is that tools or beer or both?
Yeah, we're going to need to stop at the liquor store.
All right, buddy. Oh, Tommy Ryan joining us. Appreciate him. As let's get him down to
Team name.
Team name, thank you. What I believe is where he was with that team there. So, pit stops happening after a caution for the 51 of Martell in the race off pit road. Karlovage going to get him. Braxton DeWeese, John Schweikert, Justin Fuller, and others. As caution number 2 on the track. See, I told you I'd have another opportunity to show that wreck. Let's first off, let's show this one and what happened. It's going to give some people a chance to get damage fixed. First, I got to find the replay to be able to show you the caution. Here it is. Martell. Up there he is. Gets spun around. Try it again. I'll turn to another situation, kind of like before. Car to the outside. And gets turned. Back it up a little before this here. And see if it was a very similar situation to the first wreck. Yes, Kevin Stone was outside there as we're trying to work past Glenn Campbell. You come up out, yeah, he's just there. I mean, that's the second time we've seen somebody come up the track thinking they're clear or something. That brings the second caution out, and then let's go back to the first caution for those who just joined us. This could be the biggest wreck in Sim 500 history. It's probably in the top 3 now. Along with that Richmond wreck from a few weeks ago, and then there's a Daytona wreck apparently from years ago. But this is what just happened. And per Kevin Brown, 21 cars piled in. A few of them are behind the wall, a few of them getting damage fixed right now, still on the track and so on and so forth. But yeah, it's been a wild start. Hey, big shout out to 811, by the way. As, of course, they are the sponsor of the series. And, of course, Braxton DeWeese also winning the 811 Pole Award. So, know it's below, call before you dig with 811. And big thoughts and prayers to those not only in the Ohio area, right down the road from where I'm at, but just to the south of where I'm at, in the Winchester area, in EF3 tornado going through that area. And thankfully, the racetrack was not hit. But a lot of damage down in that area, and this is that great reminder right here from 811 to, if you see any power lines down or anything like that, call your local authorities, call 811, do whatever you need to do to get the proper things done so you do not have a worse situation than you already have in your hands there. So, thoughts and prayers for all those people there. As Karlovage leads them back to the green, lap 31. Obviously, this is going to set everything up to be a one-stop race the rest of the way. Carl Lavage up to the lead. Justin Fuller, who pulled off that sneaky win last week at Iowa. I call it sneaky because he was on 2 tires and had the proper lane at the restart and was able to get the lead there in that race and go to victory lane. And as I mentioned earlier, was the last winner at this track, not named Pedro Mojica or Daniel Falkingham. So Justin looking to get a second win here, and he's got a good start. Let's just put it like that. Up 27 spots to second. Of course, 3/4 of those spots gained in that wreck at lap number 3. Mac McMillan, the points leader, back on pit road. Not sure if he's got a motor issue or something's gone wrong with his car, but that is the points leader with a lot of damage right now. Braxton DeWeese running 3rd. He was 2nd in points. And then Stephen Miles back in 21st right now with damage to his car from that wreck. So tonight, the night where people who are down in the bottom half of the point standings looking to maybe get a spot into the playoffs. You still got 10 races, but it's never too soon to try to get a gap built to that 16th position. Or if you had a rough start to the season, you can make up some time to that 18th or 16th position and get into the playoffs. And it's so easy to lose points compared to gaining points in any kind of racing series. So tonight is that night where a lot of cars get wrecked that you can take advantage and move up in the standings. As to the inside comes Braxton for 2nd, bringing Schweikert Phillips there with him. Fuller maybe trying to save his tires here for a little bit. Got, as mentioned, probably one more stop to the finish. I would think these guys are going to split this run in half with the way the tire wear is here. Charles Van Schaik there in the 13th position, following the 12 of Scott Simley. Appreciate the viewers watching here this evening. And as always, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and be a part of what is about to be 1,100 subscribers to YouTube here. If we can get 3 more by the end of tonight, or 4 more, something like that. I don't know how to count. 1 + 1 is 11. So the 81 of Parker making moves underneath of Donaldson there. For the most part, everybody just kind of single file logging laps here. As Nelson Rivera's a lap car there in a 22, just trying to get out of the way of the others here. Fuller going to take advantage of the 5 and go back to the inside for the 2nd position there. So very tough to pass here, but very easy to lose that momentum out there on the track. Is the 55 back up to P2 as he tries to chase down Carl Lavage here in the 60. Fuller going to the front as he makes the pass for the lead. As unfortunately the wounded number 2 car letting everybody go by. So it's always fun when you get drivers in the race that are out there racing, and you get family members that are watching you race. I know a lot of Braxton's, Deweese's family here. Of course, Chris watching, Doug Middendorf, who, of course, supports him. I see Mons is out there watching tonight, watching some of his friends and teammates out there on track. And, of course, others are off the track because of that big wreck just a few minutes ago. But I say that because every once in a while I get a message from my wife who says that, hey, your daughter's actually watching you and thinks you're racing right now. And this is where I get to tell her, no, I'm actually just the guy talking right now. So hi, Lucy, by the way. As they put a lap on Eric Arnold. Chad Coleman going by. You see there's Joe Hudson. He in the 3 of Jeff Ryan having a good night so far. 8th and 9th position for those two. Brent Scott, who was kind of involved in that wreck. Looks like that 33 car's gotten all fixed up. All right, 49 laps complete. Let's step away real quick and get you back to some more racing here as you're watching the Sim500 NC811.org Xfinity Series on the Captain Esports Network.
This tree is going to look great here.
Did you call 811 to protect your underground utilities?
I can't wait to see these roses come up.
Dig, dig, dig! Wait! We forgot to call 811!
Before you dig, make sure you can. Call 811 to know what's below. It's up to all of us to protect the ones we love.
All right, back we are here, 54 laps complete. As you see, Brent Scott, Jeff Ryan racing tight there off turn 4. Very easy to do there, is that bottom line can get very tight up the track. And obviously that top groove, you try to slide up there, and that's part of what makes this track so tricky to run, is you got to be able to use this whole entire track to make passes out there. And that's where you see that tight racing sometimes, as you see Schweikert leading Phillips in that 20 car. Robert Friday III having a good run there in 6th. Most of these guys kind of spread out. Fuller leads by 6/10 right now over the 60 of Car Lavage. Deweese 3rd, Schweikert and Phillips your top 5. And let's go back here, because here's some guys that are trying to battle their way through, some with a little bit of damage and some just trying to take advantage, as mentioned earlier. As Jeff Ryan in the 10th position, there's Scott Simley, the 12 car of Charles Van Schaik, the 23. And Scott getting a little loose there off turn 4. So for those who have never seen a lap here at Dover, let's take you with Randy Open and show you what it's like here around this track. So 9 degrees of banking going down into 24. So basically, it's just like they say in racing, you dive down into the track here. So you climb up out of the banking, up onto the straightaway here, 9 degrees, and then you fall what they say is the equivalent of 2 stories right here to the bottom. Down to turn 1, you can almost diamond this corner, and you bring it back almost a double apex right there off of turn 2. That wall will grab you right there if you're not careful. And then you go underneath the Ally Bridge here down to turn 3 to do the same thing. You kind of can let the car wash up a little bit. Now, I've had some people tell me in the past there's a little white strip, if you will, and I'll show you here in the corner, right down where the seam is between the apron and the track, right? You see that little strip there? Some have told me, and I don't know if it's changed since the refresh, that there is a little bit of grip there. And you can actually, if you can get the left front to turn there, can actually have a pretty good car. But as I see more cars not doing it, it kind of makes me question that. But again, that was like a year or 2 ago. All right, 59 laps in the books here. 28 was when everybody came to pit road under that second caution. So 30 laps into a run. So that means we went green somewhere around lap 30, which means 110 laps to go. Obviously, you divide 110 by 2, you get 55. And by number, that takes you to lap 85 to come to pit road to go the rest of the way on fuel and tires. So about 25 laps away before we get to that point in the race, as Braxton has caught the back end of the 60 car of Carl Lavage here. The battle for the second spot here. Braxton drives her into the bottom, giving him plenty of room, this Carl Lavage, and gives up the second position. Good patient racing there, knowing a hey. Still plenty of racing to go here. Jason having one of his best runs of the season. Runs into third spot, so Braxton up to second. And since he took that position, let's take a quick minute here and show you what the points... Oh, hang on. Joe Hudson's in trouble. And caution is out. Brent Scott, Glenn Campbell, Kevin Stone with the reaching out in the left hand and ripping off the rear bumper of the 44 there. And we have our third caution. So let's hold off on showing the points here for just a minute. And this is going to make this race very interesting because we're at 78 laps to go. As we roll that beautiful bean footage and see what happens here. And yellow number 3. Kind of spread out a little bit there. And 33 and 3. Oh, going to go 3 wide. As there's, oh, and they're wrecking in front as Simley and the 43 get tangled up. So the wreck actually takes place in front of this. So let's come back. We'll show you the actual start of the wreck. But right now, let's go cover pit stops here. As this could be the final pit stops for a lot of these cars. Campbell and Sigmund stay out. Race off pit road, though. Going to go to the 55 of Fuller. DeWeese going to be second. Carl Lavage, Schweikert, Phillips. As you see, it looks like everybody with 4 tires and fuel throughout. Well, it gives us an opportunity. And this is one of those times when we get into the race here. Let's show the point standings. And where we sit right now, and this is where I bring up earlier how everything got mashed up here a little bit. Mac McMillan was leading by 6. He is now out of the race in the 27th position. So Braxton DeWeese is going to be the points leader after the race tonight. Third place, Stephen Miles runs right now in the 18th position. He's on pit road getting damage fixed. If you didn't see Chad a few minutes ago, which I think some of you didn't because I think he did it in Facebook, so you're not going to see what he said. But Anthony Calantoni checked in from Bristol. So he's not here tonight. So cross him off the list. Mike Kelly was in that big wreck. Kevin Brown in that big wreck. So there's a chance for a lot of these cars down in here to move up, or at least gain points on these guys here, and make this a very good point battle when it's all said and done. So I think it's going to be something to keep an eye on here. Let's go back to Scott Simley now and show the wreck with Joe Hudson. Another situation where they just get hooked together. Hudson gets turned by Simley. And those other cars get collected. I actually want to watch that one more time from the crash cam. Yeah, see, the 43 gets up into the 12, but they just stay hooked together after that. And whew, Harold's hold my Braves chop thingy as he sends it in there. All right, let's see if we get one to go this time by. We do, but I still have a quick minute here, so let's talk to Carl Lavage, who runs in the, what is he, third position now. Jay, you got a copy, bud?
Yeah, I gotcha. What's going on?
Not much, man. Obviously coming to the green. Circumstances have worked themselves out, and you're in the third position. You're looking for a win.
Yeah, we're feeling good out here. Happy to be able to lead some laps and dodge the carnage there at the start. And yeah, Speedway Collective Toyota running pretty good. Really happy with it. Felt like I was just paving my tires, biding my time there a little bit. Wish it went green. Hope we go green to the end.
Been a good night to pick you in fantasy racing, huh?
Oh yeah, hope they did.
All right, buddy. Best of luck, man.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Jason Karlovage in the third position right now. As we come back to the green flag here at 65 laps, still yet 85 to go. Can they make it on fuel to the finish? Well, the one thing we know we can do right now is turn it up. And we're going to do it right now as we come to the restart. So Justin Fuller leads as we hit the halfway point this time by 70 laps in. And 70 laps to go as he's got the 5 right there on his bumper. Very surprised not seeing the 5 get very tight there. Consider not much air on that nose, and here he goes to the inside. Not able to get the lead quite yet. Yeah, hey, don't hurt my camera. We ride with the 5 car running into second position. We turn He'll camera around. He's got car lavage right there on him. One car right there with him as he just tries to get enough grip maybe to make that. Don't break my camera. And honestly, you can't break my camera. That's your top 5 right there under a nutshell. And then you got under a nutshell. What? Under a blanket, maybe? I just made up my own term. Chad Coleman up there in the 7th position right now. The Iron Man having a great run there. Randy Yoakum having a good run. The 8th position in the 8 car. You got the 3 of Jeff Ryan. Charles Van Scheikal there. And Wesley Donaldson there in the 11th position. Wesley, of course, you could argue one of the hottest drivers on the circuit, but his season has also been a little helter-skelter, if you will, as he's won plenty of races, but if he's not been winning, he's been wrecking. I think tonight he actually, if I remember correctly, last week at Iowa, he said he'd be okay with just getting a top 5 finish because then it wouldn't be one or the other. It would be consistency, more like. And right now, Wesley in the 11th position after avoiding the lap 1 accident as I think that was Harold there that decided to scrape up the wall a little bit. So do we have a potential fuel race on our hands here? As Montesi comes to pit road. Now there's one guy to talk to about this. He's on the track still, which is good. He's probably not going to be the happiest guy to talk to, but I'm going to go ahead and talk to him because he's got nothing else to do right now, and he's probably kind of bored, to be honest with you. Because let's face it, when you're wrecked and you're destroyed and you're out there on the track, is probably the worst feeling in the world. So let me just get here and kind of comfort Mike a little bit. But ask him for, hey, I was just going to say, man, it's got to be, I was telling the viewers, when you're out there wounded and you're slogging laps, it easily can become like the most boring thing in the world. And
can we get out of March, please?
No, well, I mean, don't you got a basketball tournament probably to win some money on? So
something to distract me from the month I'm having racing.
Understand. Hey, well, you got super speedway somewhere probably, I'm sure. So you got that luck going for you. But
yeah, I want to be a super speedway guy, like Beasley.
So I wanted to ask you here. Obviously, is we're coming up on lap 80 this time by 60 laps to go. We went green at 65-ish. Can they make it on fuel?
Well, I believe so. Yeah, you know, tires are going to be really worn down, but it seems to be close on fuel. It's hard for me to judge because I'm all damaged up and stuff. But I can go 65 more from where I'm at, and I took 4 tires in fuel when I pitted there. So it's going to be close. They're going to have pretty worn out tires, but I think they can do it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at your lap times right now. You're running 26-second laps, or about a second faster. So, yeah, it looks like that's still probably in the range there. So, yeah, it is going to be close, though. But you mentioned the tire wear here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's Bristol bad, but it's pretty bad.
It looks like you could go 80 or so. I have really bad right front damage, so I had, that's when I pitted there during that green run, I had to, my right front popped.
Oh, no.
But I've still got 3 minutes of damage left. I've the last little bit of damage I clicked off helped with the steering a lot, so I've got one set of rights left. I think I'm going to be able to make it no problem, but it's been one of those races.
Yes. The question is, what did you see?
When I wrecked?
Yes.
Not much. I thought it was going to be clear. And I'm like, oh, I'll go down to the bottom here. I'll just bounce off the wall. And then I think it was Eric Arnold. I got the WWE pile driver, and it gave me a meatball flag and all kinds of damage. So, done early.
No, that's unfortunate there. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming and joking with us there for a second. But obviously tough break, and we'll get you out of Dover and on to you next week.
I know it sucks because I love this track, but we'll forget about her and move on.
Absolutely, man. Best of luck the rest of the night there. Don't get too bored.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, buddy. Appreciate Turn 1 Heroes and Mike Kelly joining us, and perfect guy to get some input on to see. So these guys are close, is what they're saying here. And this is one of those tracks where it's a lot of throttle time, but you can get out of the gas early going into the corners and save a little bit of fuel. Like most of these times, you're almost driving in right about there and getting out of the gas. You roll to about here, but you get slower and slower. If you can save that right front tire, you can almost clutch it going into these corners here and save a little bit of fuel and get you what you need to the finish, because obviously we have overtime that could become a roll in this race when it's all said and done. So something we'll have to keep an eye on. But that's your top 5 right there. You go back here to Charles Van Schaik, Wesley Donaldson. And these cars back here, this is, what, 8th through 12th or so right here. Wesley trying to get around SpongeBob. Very, very important that you get your nose in clean air here. You see him get right down there to the left side. They're still kind of stuck behind Charles. Almost gives him the bumper. That wouldn't have been good. With the fast speeds here, the 24 degrees of banking, the tight corners, makes this track very aero dependent, which has always led me to ask the question. I've said it every race, so I'm going to say it again at a race at Dover. What would happen if they put progressive banking at this track? Just a thought. "89 laps in the books. Top 3 now under a blanket as Carl Lavage trailing the 5 of Deweese and just trailing there behind the 55 of Fuller, as Mitch GG and Mitch GG respond with the same thing twice in a row. Thank you, Mitch. Appreciate you watching. And it gives us a chance. We'll step away for a quick second. We'll come back and get you more racing here from Dover as you're watching the NC811 Xfinity Series on the Captain Esports Network.
When do you plan on putting in that new fence we've been talking about since last summer?
I guess I could start tomorrow.
Protect the ones you love and protect your buried utilities by contacting 811 before you dig, either by phone, the web, or the NC811 app. Know what's below before you dig. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
All right, back we are, 50 laps to go here from Dover. Very important there, by the way, I should mention. There's 811 in every state in the United States, including or especially in the lower 48. I'm not sure about Hawaii and Alaska. If somebody's watching from that area, I appreciate it, number one. And two, let me know. But otherwise, every state in the lower 48 has an 811 number. So it's very important that you follow the law and make that call if you're in South Carolina or North Carolina, if you're in Tacoma, Washington, if you are in Albuquerque, New Mexico, if you are in Joplin, Missouri, or in Charleston, West Virginia, or Charleston, South Carolina. Make the call to 811 before you dig. Or if you're in Dallas, Georgia, Dallas, Texas. And then, of course, Alan Jackson wished there was a Dallas in Tennessee, but that was a whole other thing. All right, lap 94 in the books. As J.P. Phillips passes Jason Karlovac, Miamisburg, Ohio. Good call on that. Or if you're over in the Lima area, where, again, they got some pretty heavy damage from those storms. I was watching those storms go right past my area where I'm at here in Fort Wayne on the southwest end. I was sleeping and taking a nap, and my weather radio decided to go off 21 times in a matter of an hour. And that is not a joke. And that was when I was like, okay, I guess one, the nap is over, but two, there's some serious crap coming our way. And I looked down to the south as Winchester and those guys were under a tornado warning, and I was like, those clouds don't look good. And little did we know an EF3 tornado touched down in that area, so all the best of those people there and anywhere else that was affected by severe weather in recent times. Justin Fuller is starting to stretch this thing out on Braxton here. You wonder if maybe the 5's saving a little bit of fuel here, or if he's just worn his tires out. Very easy to do when you're in dirty air behind the 55 there. I think Braxton's whacked the wall going into turn 1. JP Phillips having a great run here in the 3rd position. In a car that makes me wonder if we should nickname JP Spider-Man. Jason Karlovage there in the 4th position. John Schweikert having a great run after a rough race in Iowa. He was involved in a few accidents in that race. Chad Coleman, the Ironman, 6th position here for the 38. Robert Fryery here in his 7th position for him. And Charles Van Schaik, Randy Yoakum, Wesley Donaldson, these guys fighting it out still. Scott Simley, I think that is mine, or is that the wounded Mike Kelly? I think it's Mike Kelly actually now. Is back there as Harold just knocked the wall down again off 4. So some knowledge here about Dover, by the way, in case you never knew. This track used to be known as Dover Downs International Raceway back in its heyday. And for those who might not know, it might be able to get you a good view here from the blimp. It's the only NASCAR circuit that they race at that has an infield that is a horse track. As you see it over to the right there, that gray surface, this is the garage area here. But if you look over to the left, there's going to be a gray surface you see. That is the horse track that they race around. It is called Dover Downs, and of course they have the casinos and the hotel over here on the back straightaway, and horse racing that goes on right here at Dover Downs at the racetrack here. So right here, there's the casino and slash hotel area there. You got seats up there in those bridges that you can watch the actual racing here at Dover. They've done a lot of remodeling on this track. A lot of the seats over in that turn 3 and 4 area have been taken out. And of course, the surface. There are probably people racing in this race right now. I'm looking through the field, just off my knowledge. Maybe not. But if anybody is younger than the age of 28 in this race today, which actually, yeah, there are, as I think about the math, then there is a chance that they are older or younger than the surface of this track. As this track was put, the concrete was laid down in 1995 and has not been touched. As they always say, concrete lasts a lot longer than asphalt. I know they've had to do some patch jobs. I remember it was in turn 2 a couple years ago when the concrete came up a little bit. But otherwise, they have left this track alone. And for 28 years now, they've raced on this surface right here. Braxton's 20, so there you go. Once again, a reminder that I graduated in 2004, so thank you for sharing that with me. As here comes some fresh tires going through. Jeff Ryan on pit road now. He's getting tires and fuel, so he must have thought he was short. And the problem you have here on pit road is the speed is 35 miles an hour from entrance to exit. And you got laps around this track right now, 25, 26 seconds. And you got to go 35 down pit road. So you're going to lose at least 2 laps. So you want to make sure you are able to make it, because you do not want to be on pit road at all if you don't have to be. As Phillips and Karlovage continue to put pressure on that 5. Doug Middendorf admitting that he graduated high school before Titanic was released. So congratulations there, Doug. Chris DeWeese admitting that he graduated high school the year I went to my first NASCAR race, when I was 7 years old. Thanks, Chris. That was a Daytona 500, by the way, 93. As Mike Kelly on pit road, obviously wounded car there, just trying to log laps. And then there's Dennis. All right, I'm just going to stop because, but then again, I'm kind of tempted to say more because then it's like, man, we might eventually get down to the 40s, the 30s, and I'm like, wait a minute here. Is there people that like graduated Professor Dumbledore and stuff here? What's going on? As you see the fresh tires going through the field here. As the lap cars have mixed things up, here's Karlovaj getting to the inside of Phillips for third. Of course, in all fairness, Dennis graduated high school the year that the first ever live flag-to-flag TV race was broadcasted, being the 79 500. But for those who did not know, it's not the first ever race to be broadcasted flag-to-flag in a NASCAR event. For those who did not know this, good pop quiz, good little betting question right here. If you ever wanted to, like, I bet you I know the answer to this, and they're like, yeah, it was the 79 500. No, it was not. The answer is the 1972 200 lap race at Greenville Pickens Speedway. It is on YouTube, by the way, too. You can go watch it. I did myself. It was the first race on the paved Greenville Pickens Speedway. And, yeah, it's actually a pretty good race. I forget who wins it, but he ends up winning it by a lap. But, yeah, it was the first ever televised flag-to-flag race. This wasn't live. These guys here continue to battle back at the 8th, 9th, 10th positions. Brian Wortman and the wounded Stephen Miles. This is a battle for 14th here as Miles fights his way back into the picture here. He's had a lot of damage on that Ric Flair car. And he makes the pass. For those who watched wrestling back in the heyday, Miles has been through a battle like Ric Flair would normally do if he would bloody up his face and then he would literally paintbrush his hair so his hair looked all red and stuff too. It was kind of funny. I argued with somebody this past weekend, was like, Ric Flair was probably the most, yeah, he's one of the best of all time, but probably the most comical wrestler there ever was to watch in the ring too. This stuff was funny. "26 laps to go as Joachim pushes Campbell up the track there. And then clears himself on him. Oof. That's not going to make Glenn happy. As Braxton's under attack, here comes Karlovaj with 25 to go. Gonna move to second. Does the 60 have enough for Fuller? It is 2.7 seconds from Fuller back to Karlovaj, but you never know, as they say. Still got 25 to go here. Question can be, who can make it on fuel, who can't? Pretty sure everyone can, you just never know. Mac McMillan returning to the track. He is 16 laps down in the 24th position. And unfortunately, he's going to need a little bit of help to gain any more spots here tonight. But he had plenty of cars behind him that could pass him for position, so good for him to get back out there on the track. Now, these guys here battling for second might not want to look in a rearview mirror because there is the Iron Man. Mr. Coleman is playing stock here. Last time by, 26 flat for him, and that was faster than pretty much everybody in the top two outside the leader. Tomorrow night, the Cup Series back in action. Presented by NC811 from the Bristol Motor Speedway. We will be there tomorrow night at 8:15 Eastern Time after an impromptu week off because of some setting issues with iRacing. We're at it again tomorrow night for the Cup Series from Bristol. Looking forward to seeing everybody there tomorrow night at 8:15 Eastern Time. As here comes Donaldson inside of Van Schaik for 8th. Trying to get that run on the 23. I think he might have gave him a little bump there as he sends it into 3. Not able to make the pass there as you also see Phillips trying to hold off Schweikert now for the 3rd position, as Schweikert running a big diamond around the track. Trying to get that run on the bottom side here, not able to do so there. So got one final break here to get in. Let's do it right now as we'll come back and get you to the finish of this race from Dover Motor Speedway on the Captain Esports Network.
What a nice day to install my new mailbox.
Hi there, friend. I'm Dig Safely Man. My job is to ensure you call 811 before you dig.
Why do I need to do that?
Vital utilities like natural gas and electric run just beneath the Earth's surface. Damaging them can cause service interruption, environmental hazards, or personal injury.
I thought only contractors had to call before they dig, so homeowners do too.
Call 3 business days before you dig unless you have X-ray vision. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
All right, 17 laps to go. As you watch the 3 cars fighting it out for the 2nd position here. Schweikert's trying to become the 4th car in this battle, just a little too far back there in that 1 as he's trying to make up the ground that Justin Fuller has left the building pretty much. 3.4 seconds on the 60 car. Fuller's going to want me to do a pre-race interview with him every night now. As he leads, Carlamage 2nd, Deweese 3rd, Phillips 4th, Schweikert 5th. Coleman there in 6th. Robert Friery the 3rd, having a great run here in the 77 car as he tries to chase down that 38. Wesley Donaldson has gotten by Van Schaik. He is now up to the 8th position as Bob Gillenwater apparently got the hunk of junk, as he called it earlier, back together again. In the 8th position, 9th Van Schaik, and then there's Randy Oakham in the 10th position. Going to ride the boards here potentially, and Ash Van Schaik on the top side. You see Tyler Dalton back on track. As Oakham with the pass. So a reminder, the Scalicast, episode number 12, going to get recorded tomorrow. Episode 11, of course, and 10 were both done last week. Episode 10 was the review of the Phoenix race. Tomorrow's episode, when we record it, it's going to be interesting. We talk about the Bristol race today and trying to put our hands around what in the world we watched. And looking forward to breaking that down. And thankfully, there was only 2 races this weekend, a truck race and a cup race. That gives us plenty of time to break that race down. And then we'll talk about all the league races from this week that Stephen Miles raced in, and of course Telder racing in himself. And then on Tuesday, we'll come back and record episode 13, which we are trying to get one person involved in that broadcast, or into the podcast. Haven't finalized it yet, but we're still working on it, and hopefully we'll have a guest for you for episode 13. One will get released Tuesday night, which will be 12, and then Thursday night, the release of 13 going into the weekend. So you can go check out those podcasts on Podbean, also on Spotify and iHeartMedia. Appreciate everybody's support who has checked out the podcast and watches the broadcast each and every week. Brent Scott down pit road, so is Sigmund. A lot of these cars involved in the accidents earlier. Robert Friery has raced down Chad Coleman, and about to be a battle for the 6th position here. He gets around them, so move that 77 up to the 6th position. Great pass there by Robert. And then up here, you see Phillips has lost the 4th spot to Schweiker. Now he is trying to get around DeWeese here for 2nd, who's having trouble with Mike Kelly's lap car. Braxton gets around him, so does Schweikert, and there goes Phillips with him. I mean, Fuller's lead just continues to get bigger, so I would think he's going to be good to go on fuel the rest of the way. As look at the one, make the move topside here. He's got the run. Can he get to his quarter? He does. Braxton gives him room. That's always a tight spot right there. Oh, Braxton getting a little tight there. And that lets Schweikert move to 3rd. Already 5 to go. Charles Van Schuyt to pit road. So he must have not put enough fuel in the car. I'm starting to kind of get curious here. But I would have thought if some of these cars could make it on fuel, they would have short pitted probably. All these cars coming to pit road, there is one person this is hurting. And it's Braxton DeWeese because, you know, tonight was that night where he would likely jump into the points lead. He's going to do that. The problem he has is McMillan's 24th. Stephen Miles is about to crack the top 10. And Stephen was only 4 points behind the 5 at that time. So with the 24 back, only 6 or so positions back from the 5 car, he's only going to lose that many points in the end. So instead of it being a pretty big 20-point gap, it looks like it'll be just a little over 10 or so from Braxton back to Miles in the point standings. 2 laps to go for Fuller. Of course, Justin last week pulled the sneaky move off, if you will, in going to victory lane on the restart there, passing McMillan and getting the win. And now he sees the white flag, final lap. I asked him earlier tonight, I said, hey, you think you could do it? And his words to me were, well, I'm going to need this track position to work out for me. Well, a big wreck, and the track position worked for him as he found himself in the top 10 and climbed his way back to victory lane, his 2nd straight Xfinity win and 2nd win here at Dover. Fuller goes to victory lane tonight as Karlovaj 2nd, Schweikert 3rd, DeWeese 4th, and Phillips gets a top 5. And I stand corrected. Wow, I didn't even realize this. This is actually Fuller's 4th Dover win in the Xfinity car in this series. So I just clicked on the track real quick to get the numbers, and I was like, oh, wait, it's not his 2nd win. It's his 4th. He actually won back in 18 and 19 in the series out of the now 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 races that have been ran here at Dover Motor Speedway. So obviously this 55 car knows how to go to victory lane, or at least the driver does in this series. portable storage Supra celebrating. As the 55 celebrates, let's take a look at the finishing order here from the Monster Mile. As Fuller wins it by 4.7 seconds over Jason Karlovage, John Schweikert third, Braxton DeWeese fourth, and Robert Friery finishing in the fifth position. Sixth position to J.P. Phillips, Chad Coleman seventh, Wesley Donaldson, Randy Yoakum, Scott Simley are top 10. Stephen Miles comes back to 11th, Brian Wortman 12th, Gerald Livingston 13th. Jeff Ryan and Sam Harrell finishes in the top 15 here this evening. 16th goes to Glenn Campbell, Van Schaik 17th, Kevin Stone 18th, Doug Sigmund, Eric Arnold 20th, 21st Joe Hudson, Brent Scott 22nd, and a lot of these cars involved in that lap 3 accident. Mike Kelly, Mac McMillan, Sean Burke, also Tyler Dalton, Mike Bontesi, Nelson Rivera, Justin Reynolds, Martell, Parker, Gillenwater, Woods, DeBrown, Tommy Ryan. Unfortunately, ends up the last finishing car, as he said he would probably have to make a trip to Northern Tool and buy all the products off the shelf tonight before he would be able to get back on track here this evening. So tough break there for the 99. All right, let's go to the top 3 finishers here tonight and talk to them. After a good race here tonight. And, of course, third place to John Schweikert, who is looking to bounce back after a really tough race at Iowa last week. And this is always the tough part here. I got to... a second here. Some of these guys, their names are, like, not in full, so it always throws me off, and I don't know who's who here. So, and unfortunately, I cannot tell if this is John or not. I don't think it is, but... there's one way to find out. That's Josh Parker. Okay, so yeah, Schweikert is not. If he hears me, hopefully he'll jump into chat here and I can talk to him. But let's talk to our second place finisher, and that being Karlovage. Hey, there's John over here posting in chat. But John, if you want to talk, you can come on over. Otherwise, I'm going to talk to our second place finisher here. And Karlovage, as I mentioned. And here we go. Jason, man, great job tonight. Congratulations. P2 finish for you. One of the best finishes you've had in this league yet. Obviously, tonight, and being able to help yourself out in that points battle.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah, that was a good run. Just really happy to be able to run up there. Fuller put a whooping on all of us. I think he got almost 5 seconds out on second, which is pretty crazy being on fixed setup. So congrats to him on the win. Really happy with second there. Had a good battle with Schweikart right in the final few laps there. And yeah, just happy to bring it home second. I think the right tire was starting to fall apart there towards the end. So just happy to reach the finish.
Yeah, obviously you guys all had a great race between each other. It was like 4 of you. I think it was you and Braxton and John and JP were pretty much neck and neck throughout the race there until looked like the tires finally decided who was going to win that race when it was all over with between the 4 of you. But that had to be pretty fun to be a part of all race.
Oh, that was a blast, man. Everyone up there was racing really clean, and we're giving each other room and saving our tires a bit and pushing it a little bit. And yeah, just that was a lot of fun. Had a great time with those guys. Appreciate all the support, Speedway Collective, for being on board. We're already a little bit into the season, but if you like fantasy NASCAR, check out speedwaycollective.com and sign up and see if you can pick the winning lineup for the next race at COTA. I think they are.
It is Circuit of the Americas. So how was your lineup today?
Not so bad. Solid points today, but we didn't get the win, so we'll take it.
I was gonna say a solid points day after a race like today, I'd be happy. So, great job, man. Congratulations. Send some shout outs if you didn't already. You pretty much did. But go ahead, give some more if you want.
Yeah. Appreciate the family. Appreciate Speedway Collective and just the whole team there, and Justin for giving me a lot of help and advice. A lot definitely helps me get up to speed. And yeah, happy to start talking to you a little bit here in the podium. You know, it's nice.
Come on up, man. Come on up. But great job tonight. And oh, by the way, a reminder: fantasy umpires coming up in April. I'm just kidding. That's the when they throw somebody out, they're like, "Oh, fantasy points for him." No. Great job tonight, man. In all seriousness.
Yeah, appreciate it, Chris. Hope you enjoyed the show. Appreciate the broadcast.
Yes, sir. Thank you, buddy. Jason Karlovaj finishing in the second position tonight. And the joke behind that, for those who have never, I think it was Steve Berthew, maybe? Now he's Arizona Diamondbacks baseball guy, but I used to work at SportsCenter on ESPN. And I think anytime, or it might have been John Anderson, but one of them would, like anytime an umpire would throw out a manager, he'd be like, yep, for those fantasy umpires, you're going to get points for that ejection or something. It's kind of funny when he'd say it. Anyways, all right, Schweikert's joined us here after his third place finish here tonight. Man, John, great job. Obviously, a great bounce back as you had a rough one last week at Iowa, but we're not going to talk about that. We'll talk about the positives here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we could touch on Iowa. I made some mistakes last week and put myself in some bad positions and was just hoping for a solid night there, but definitely pulled a solid night out tonight. Started kind of up front and stayed up front. Man, it was a lot of fun.
Well, obviously, you did a great. Sorry, I just saw something. Obviously, a great battle amongst you and others here tonight. As I was just talking to Jason about it, you and three others there battling for the second position. Of course, you were a little ways back and kind of caught them towards the end of the race.
Yeah, so all race I was trying to figure out, how this tire was going to fall off, and I saw Fuller early in the race jump up high and kind of start making some runs, but as we started going to that run there, they started pulling away, and I was falling back to Chad Coleman, and I was like, I got to try something different. So I started doing a really high entry and cutting down across the track, and man, it came to life and caught back up to him, was able to make a couple passes up high, and right when I got to Jason, he just took my line away and made it extremely hard and couldn't get it. But it was a lot of fun racing these guys tonight.
Well, obviously, great job this evening. Congratulations, and send some shout out to Air too.
Yeah, Chris, I hope you and all your viewers enjoyed the show tonight. Got to thank my team, LaRue Esports, LaRue Snowblowers out of Quebec, Canada, Nelson, Matt Martell, and Rob Friery. We do a good job together as a little team. So just looking forward to next week.
Absolutely, man. Great job tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you, bud.
You too, bud. That is, of course, the one car of John Schweiker getting a win here tonight, or getting a third place finish. Feels kind of like a win after what he went through here last week. I hesitated there for a second because I had been saying to myself all week as I was doing broadcast, I was like, yeah, Sim500's at Bristol tonight, and then Bristol Monday night. It's all Bristol all for like the next couple days or whatever. So I set up the broadcast today, and I didn't realize it until just now. Casey Carrington posts one to me and says, I didn't know Bristol was purchased by Dover, and because it says Bristol Motor Speedway on it. And I'm like, no! So, anyways, apparently I had Bristol all stuck in my head here today. But anyhow, the man that goes to victory lane here tonight at Dover, not Bristol, but Dover, is Justin Fuller, who puts a whooping on him. I guess that is one way for you to get through the field, huh?
Yeah, that certainly helped. I just came to a stop, and everybody wrecked in front of me. I went from starting 29th to being 8th on the next restart. So that certainly helped me get to the field. I wasn't how I wanted to do it. I was going to have some fun, as trying to drive through the field and see what we can make of it. But I'll definitely take it that way. That was a lot easier.
Yeah, I was going to say pull a Parker and roll through the field like he does. But, yeah, obviously the big wreck puts you up there to 8th, and then you had another caution and pretty much just patiently climbed your way up there. I know it's a tough track to pass, but you made it sort of look easy, and then obviously driving away. And little did I know until I went and looked at the end of the race here, this is your 4th Dover Xfinity win.
Yeah, we pretty good here in this car for some reason. I don't know what it is. I'm not very good here. I shouldn't say I'm not very good here. I am good here.
Say obviously.
I just for some reason this car fits me more here. I don't know why. I struggle here in the truck and the cup car, but this car for some reason it just fits my style. And tonight was a lot of fun. It was you had to run different lines, find the grip, and it was kind of right up my alley, and I really enjoyed it.
Obviously, it was a great job on your part, and of course, going back to back here, kind of giving you a little bit of momentum here through the short tracks.
Well, I mean, I am a short track guy, so
sure.
we don't have a whole lot on the schedule. Looking through here, we got Bristol, Richmond, and Iowa again. So I'll be looking forward to those. But yeah, just these driver tracks are they're the fun ones. You know what I mean? So at least for me, I'm not a big fan of the speedways, draft tracks. So
Question is Darlington. That's a driver's track. How do we feel about going there next week?
well, I got a few wins there too. It's always one of those tracks where a lot of these guys know that I drive right on the edge all the time, and I tend to drive over that edge once in a while and put myself on the wall, and I hurt my chances at Darlington more than anything. But now that we have the new damage model, that may not be as much of an issue. So we'll see. I'll be looking forward to it regardless. Oh man, I'm yawning. I'm getting tired. But I'll be looking forward to it. Regardless, it's another track, especially with dynamic tracks coming back a little bit. I think you're going to see all of us run out the top 1 and 2, but I think 3 and 4 you're going to see us spreading out to below the hash lines, and 3 and 4 all the way up to the wall. So that should be fun.
Well, great job tonight. Congratulations, and send some shout out to whoever you like to.
Yeah, thanks for you putting on the broadcast. Thanks to 811 for sponsoring the series. Thanks to Sim500, all the admins. Thanks for Trey Hudson for always keeping me looking good out here. Thanks to everybody in the race that watched, or thanks to everybody that was in the race. Thanks to everybody that watched. Thanks to Units. Thanks to Aftermath Motorsports, all my teammates. I think that's about it. Just looking forward to having some more fun. We got some more points to keep gaining here, and we're chipping away at it one race at a time.
Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations.
Thanks. Have a good one.
You too, buddy. Justin Fuller going to victory lane here tonight, so congratulations to him on getting this win, and obviously well done on his part. And obviously what was a great race tonight that started a little hectic and cleaned itself up, and obviously clean and green the last 85 laps on his way to victory lane here this evening and getting himself another win. Now, I'm pretty sure down in the chat, it's going to be a lot of fun down there, as they'll probably break down the big wreck for the next, 2 hours, so that ought to be pretty interesting. So, all right, tomorrow night we return to the Cup side of things as we head over to Bristol for real and get you ready for the racing there at the short track. We'll be on at 8:15 tomorrow night, Kevin and I, as we get you ready for racing from the last great Coliseum. So hopefully we'll see you there. Big shout out to NC811 for being a part of the series, as always, on Sunday and Monday nights, as the 811 series continues on next Sunday night from Darlington Raceway. Will be the next race here for the Xfinity cars next Sunday night. So looking forward to being a part of that broadcast, as always. Big shout out to Joey Jatina for allowing us to broadcast. And yes, I kind of owe a quick apology for those on Facebook that normally watch, as I didn't realize I had the wrong Facebook channel marked tonight for the league race. So apologies to those guys, but we'll get that fixed and make sure I don't do that again. So otherwise, appreciate everybody watching here this evening. And always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.